Hello, Tomlin here from Tomlin Harmonica School, and in this week's episode of the podcast, I want to talk about the 3 mistakes that everyone makes when learning harmonica. If you know what they are before you start, you're going to improve so much quicker. All right, so I've been teaching harmonica since 2010, and I could almost get a t-shirt made with the 3 things that I say most to students. And anytime I hang out with other harmonica teachers, we say exactly the same thing. So there are 3 things, 3 mistakes that everyone makes, and if you know about it now, you should hopefully improve a little bit quicker. All right, so the first mistake that everyone makes, especially at the beginning, is playing too hard. And I think a lot of this stems from 2 things. So the first one is we've seen a lot of very passionate looking harmonica players, and it looks like they're playing very hard in order to achieve big volume on the instrument. But actually, they're not. They're playing very softly. They're playing with a whisper of breath. And if you play too hard, it's going to lead to your harmonica sounding weak, thin, tense, not very nice. So if I'll play too hard, and then I'll play with the right breath force. So too hard, we'd get something like this. Whereas with the right breath force, okay? So don't play so hard, and you will get better sounding harmonica, and you're not going to run out of breath anywhere near as quickly as you are currently as a beginner. And I said that there were 2 reasons for people playing too hard. There's the passionate harmonica player reason, and the second reason is it takes some time to learn how to finesse this. So you've got to cut yourself some slack. As a beginner harmonica player, playing into such a small instrument which requires quite a precise amount of breath force takes some practice. So it's okay that it's not perfect straight away. Cut yourself some slack, that's totally fine. But just remember, we want to aim to be playing nice and gently, okay? So the next mistake that everyone makes is playing with too much tension. And I think that's also partly to blame on all of these passionate harmonica players that we've seen performing. And simply, you have this small instrument in front of you that kind of pulls you in. It's not like a piano or a guitar, which is a little bit more open because it's just so big. You could hug a piano or a guitar, but you can't hug a harmonica. So that makes you kind of pull yourself in tight around the instrument. And playing with too much tension makes it difficult to get good tone on the instrument and difficult to play any of the interesting techniques like bends or vibratos or overblows or anything really. So if I play with too much tension, so I'm going to play with really tight lips, and I'm going to squeeze my jaw tight, and I'm going to squeeze my shoulders up, because that's where I see a lot of tension. I see a lot of tension in people's shoulders. It's going to sound like this. Whereas if I relax, it sounds so much more open and fuller. And if you're struggling with your bends and you're trying to attack them with loads and loads of tension, you might get something like this. You know, the note moves, but it's not sounding great. Whereas if you can relax to play it, you can get a nice big, open, full, controlled bend. And as before, with people playing too hard, I think it's totally normal to play with too much tension as a beginner. It's really difficult to relax when you're doing anything new. Any new skill that you start learning, especially as an adult learner, is going to bring with it a degree of anxiety and tension and just wanting to do it too hard. And that's normal. So cut yourself some slack. It's normal to be too tense, but when you're picking up the harmonica each day, just ask yourself, don't tell yourself, ask yourself, can I play this a little bit more relaxed? You'll be amazed at what that does to the quality of your playing and how quickly you improve. And also, a bonus tip on this front, try playing in front of a mirror. You'll be absolutely amazed by where you carry your tension. Just by looking at yourself in the mirror, you might discover that you've got your shoulders hunched up. You might discover that you're poking your chin forward. There are all sorts of ways that we carry tension when we're playing. And if you want to really learn how to relax, then just try lying on your couch while you're playing with the harmonica. Have your head on the armrest, lie back and just play some nice chords. So play holes 1, 2, and 3 and just breathe. Don't breathe fast, don't breathe slow, just breathe naturally and see how much you can relax. Now, if you want to get some feedback on whether you're making any of these mistakes, I recommend that you check out my online harmonica school, where you get access to a world-class faculty of teachers who will provide feedback on your recordings, as well as a community of students to provide support and accountability in your practice. The school provides everything you need to get better at blues harmonica at a pace that's comfortable for you. And the best thing is that you can try the school out for free with a 14-day trial before you commit to an annual subscription. Just click in the show notes below. Okay, so we have one more mistake that everyone makes, and that is playing too fast. And this is still a mistake that I really struggle with. So when I'm learning a new piece of music or a new lick or a new technique, I want to learn it right now and I want to get there straight away and I want to be playing it at match speed. And we can't do that. If we want to go from picking something up and playing it to full speed straight away, we're going to make mistakes and we're going to learn mistakes. So your muscle memory will internalize everything you're doing, whether it's good or bad. So it's really important to play things slowly and precisely before you gradually increase the speed that you're playing them at. Because if you try and play them too quickly, you're going to trip over yourself. And if you're thinking to yourself when you're learning something slowly, oh, well, it's almost there, I can start speeding up. That's the wrong mindset. You need to say to yourself, okay, is it perfect at this tempo? If it's not perfect at this tempo, I need to practice at a tempo where it is perfect. And then once you've got that baseline, and it might be really, really slow, and that's okay. Get the baseline, then you can gradually increase the speed. Speed is actually remarkably easy once you have a very solid foundation on anything slow. But it's all about getting the foundation absolutely perfect and then gradually increasing the speed. There's a great quote. I think I read it in a Victor Wooten book, or it might have been The Practice of Practice, actually. That's a great book. That's not Victor Wooten. Anyway, the quote is, "The best way not to make mistakes is to not make mistakes." And that sounds extremely facile and like just a little thing that you can throw out there, but it's so true. If you're practicing things at a speed where you can play them perfectly and then you gradually increase the speed, you won't have mistakes built into your muscle memory. All right, so 3 most common mistakes. Are you making them? Are you playing too hard? Are you playing with too much tension? And are you playing too fast? Have a little think about that next time you pick a harmonica. All right, thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please leave a rating and review on your podcast player of choice. All right, take it easy. Happy harping.